Okay, this morning our scripture reading is taken from Corinthians chapter 6, verses 1 through 13. Listen carefully to this translation from the Message. Companions, as we are in this work with you, we beg you, please don't squander one bit of this marvelous life God has given us. God reminds us, I heard your call in the nick of time. The day you needed me, I was there to help. Well, now is the right time to listen, the day to be helped. Don't put it off. Don't frustrate God's work by showing up late, throwing a question mark over everything we're doing. Our work as God's servants gets validated or not in the details. People are watching us as we stay at our post, alert, unswervingly, in hard times, tough times, bad times, when we're beaten up, jailed, and mobbed, working hard, working late, working without eating, with pure heart, clear head, steady hand, in gentleness, holiness, and honest love. When we're telling the truth, and when God's showing His power, when we're doing our best setting things right, when we're praised and when we're blamed, slandered and honored, true to our word, though distrusted, ignored by the world, but recognized by God, terrifically alive, though rumored to be dead, beaten within an inch of our lives, but refusing to die. Immersed in tears, yet always filled with deep joy, living on handouts, yet enriching many, having nothing, having it all. Dear Corinthians, I can't tell you how much I long for you to enter this wide open, spacious life. We didn't fence you in. The smallness you feel comes from within you. Your lives aren't small, but you're living them in a small way. I'm speaking as plainly as I can and with great affection. Open up your lives, live openly and expansively. So it is written in the Holy Bible, may we be blessed to find meaning and understanding in these words. We beg you, please don't squander one bit of this marvelous life God has given us. Enter this wide open, spacious life, live openly and expansively. Openly and expansively. These are powerful words from St. Paul. However, these are also words that remind me of this. You know, it's hard out here for a pimp when you're trying to get the money for the rent. Anyway, it's hard out here for a pimp when you're trying to make the money for the rent. That little truism comes from one of my favorite movies, Hustle and Flow, starring Terrence Howard and Taraji P. Henson. That song was also the first rap record to win an Academy Award, by the way, for Best Song in the movie. It's hard out here for a pimp. But it's also hard out here for so many people and for so many reasons. And I'm not going to run through a litany of things that challenge us because it would be endless and also very depressing. Instead, I just want to talk a little bit about what I think Paul had in mind when he invites us to live openly and expansively. What a charge to life. Live openly and expansively. If my two grandkids came to me and asked what advice I would give them for navigating this curious, confounding, surprising, mysterious, and exciting thing we call life on earth, I would be hard-pressed to offer better words of advice than Paul has given to the people of Corinth. Enter this wide open, spacious life, and don't squander one bit of it. First, I would tell them, these are my grandkids, it's hard out here for a pimp. Like the Buddhists say, life is dukkha. Life is suffering. It's a given, but it's just the baseline. It's not the end game. I would also say, don't let that deter you from living and creating the best life possible for yourself and others, with an emphasis on others. I'd say that creation in its great wisdom has given us a blank slate or an empty palette to fill in however we choose. And I'd say that God of creation has also given us the natural, mental, and physical resources, as well as the capacity and ability to manifest anything we can imagine. Now, my feeling is that truly impossible things don't even enter into our imagination. And once we fervently commit to something, God shows up just in the nick of time to help. As our scripture reading says today, God reminds us, I heard your call in the nick of time. The day you needed me, I was there to help. When my grandkids ask me what God looks like, I will respond, look around. Every face you see is the face of God. Every arm is an everlasting arm for you to lean on. I will tell my grandkids that we are here to serve and that everyone benefits from that service. I'll tell them that, in my opinion, there's nothing better than the gratitude you receive from putting a smile on someone's face or helping someone who is truly distressed. I will say, don't hesitate to open your expansive arms to embrace your brothers and sisters who are lucky enough to be on this journey with you. Live openly and expansively. And I will tell them there's nothing better than love, and I might even sing Luther Vandross's song that says the same thing. But I'm not going to sing. The most important thing, however, that I would like to share with my grands is my conviction that it's important to be who you are meant to be, and to be it without regret or hesitation. Be as open and expansive as is humanly possible, and don't play small or coy to please others. The more freedom to be that you create for yourself, the more freedom to be you create for others. And we can never know what we're capable of if, for whatever reason, we hide in the shadows, refusing to shine in all our glory. I want to tell them not to hide any part of themselves, like I did, if they are not being their authentic selves. Don't build personal fences that contain their fears and anxieties. Don't build fences that shun others or marginalizes self and others. And then I tell them about my friend Gabby, who's a trans woman, who as a trans woman, has faced countless obstacles and abuse on the way to being her true self, who now lives her life with complete abandon and is determined to be happy despite attempts by others to shame and marginalize her. Living her life openly makes it easier for others to do the same. I tell my grandkids about the recently deceased author, political commentator, speechwriter, and psychiatrist Charles Krauthammer, who some of you may know just passed away, who despite a devastating accident which left him paralyzed, didn't play small, but distinguished himself as a well-rounded and well-respected person who gave as much to society as he received. And despite his perceived handicap, he lived and loved openly and expansively. Then I'd also tell my grandkids about the Philadelphia Boys Choir and Chorale, a group that I'm a proud member of that doesn't believe in building fences, but in building bridges. This year we're celebrating our 50th anniversary with a special concert at the Kimmel Center this afternoon. Now some of you may know news anchor Yuki Washington, who was one of the original choir members 50 years ago. I'd like to share with you a brief video that he was responsible for putting together that shows how men and young boys are still building bridges and not fences. With Yuki in this video, which will be a little difficult for you to see, but the most important thing is I want you to hear it. With Yuki are 5 alums of the choir who are all members at the same time. So I'm going to see if I can do this. I'm sorry I didn't put it on a big screen, but the listening is the most important thing. Let's see. I'm going to try to hold it up as much as I can.
This choir has changed our lives. It's been 8 years. Oh, that's right. I'm totally blessed.
We've done things that normal people have done in their lifetime.
We talk about ourselves, we talk about all the cultures that we've experienced, and then you look at our world today.
Yeah.
It's all the world.
And a lot of things that people think about this world today, you know, it was much simpler when we were young. It seemed that way, didn't it? But the thing was, when we got into the choir, it just opened us up a whole new world.
Yeah.
I mean, we were in neighborhoods where we, Philly neighborhoods, we were segregated around in places, and now suddenly we are opened up to whole different cultures, even within the choir, and then we go overseas. I think we were too young to appreciate it when you had it sunk in.
Yeah, but it got better than
Yeah, I think it's sunk in, that was the key.
You know what? We're still alive. We still get together.
Right, our brothers.
Moving with each other, living with each other's house, right? Matters that we sang the right notes.
My love let me as we sing. Our early morning singing song. Living up to be, living out to be, la 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 la. I tell people, after God and my parents, now,
Yes.
G, now, you gotta remember what G stood for? Range. Come on.
There's no doubt that the discipline that he instilled in us years ago still carries on. Still do the same thing that he taught us to do. And it's very important.
Parents were born strong after 50 years. They told me about COVID, those red blazers are down the fall.
Yes, I think they were.
And it started with us. It started with us. So let's make it start when it comes to helping to change this world. It should start with us. You gotta say it. Amen.
Let's start. Let's start. Let's start. Let's start. Let's start. Go make a change. Let's start. Let's start. Let's start. Let's start. Let's start. Gonna make it right. Let's start. Let's turn the color.
See all the hugs? Okay, 50 years. 50 years. Philadelphia Boys Choir, building bridges and not fences. 1 second. So, in closing, once again, let's hear the words of Paul. Dear United Christians, I can't tell you how much I long for you to enter this wide open, spacious life. We didn't fence you in, and I'm speaking as plainly as I can and with great affection. Open up your lives, live openly and expansively. And if you could add an addendum, it might sound something like this. UCC, eliminate borders, mental and physical. The whole world belongs to everyone.